The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast. Christian is
Hello and welcome to the Spotlight with Yvonne Mangunda. And as your big sporting personality to talk about their journey, where they've been and where they are coming from. This week, slightly different because I bring to you a chief executive officer about a lot. I think if you follow me on social media, especially on Facebook, I talk about this team a lot. And over the weekend, I think very about that in detail and a whole lot more about Kwekwe United, a bottom place team in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. And in the studio she is the CEO. Bridgette, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. So, bottom of the log standings. Like, how do you stay motivated in an environment where you are bottom of the log?
For me, it's more like a learning. Obviously, it's a hard learning process, but what motivates me is, look, I'm looking at other teams that has been where we are. So I've chosen to take a look at clubs like the Premier League, relegated, went back to Division 1, and now they're doing very well. So, firstly, the league botted and it's demoted. With Kwekwe United, it's more of a project that's going to go beyond us because it's a Kwekwe United. That's a community name, so it has to stay going on beyond us. Yeah.
But Bridgette, we'll tell you optimistic. Obviously, you're the CEO, but let's get back to what happened over the weekend before we even get into all the other stories. I assume the task is go to the Lowveld, play, hopefully get points, go back to Kwekwe. That was not what happened. Instead, pictures, videos of your team bus because the lodge. The first question is a fixture, getting a lodge, knowing they don't have money to pay for the lodge.
I don't think that's what happened. You know, social media people, I mean, you guys, you say, you report on what you might know or the information that you might think you have, but it's actually not what happened. There was just a miscommunication from both parties, but everything was cleared up. And it wasn't the situation you are putting it as. It wasn't like that.
What was the situation, Bridgette?
Well, the situation was... it was just listened to. It never was keys were taken is alleged because you know that's not allowed.
But Bridgette,
no one would ever do that.
there was a picture.
No,
there
but
was
those
a
are
video
pictures.
of
Yes.
the bus and there's a car blocking it.
So the parking was full. The guy just chose to park in front of another car. There was never a situation like that.
Bridgette. Bridgette, I think you need a sip of our water.
No. I was warned not to drink this water.
No, I think we need.
They say if you're going to the studio, don't drink the water. And I'm not drinking that water. Sorry, I'm not taking that water.
Because, okay, but let's say it's water, but in the Lowveld.
No, things did happen. Obviously, we went there hoping that we'll get a point, at least. But played inside the area. But unfortunately, 89, 90 minutes. So, but at the end of the day, everything else went well. And
but can I ask one last?
Yes.
Was there an affidavit signed? Was there a trip to the police station?
Not that I know.
Evident. We're not going to get more from
Not that I
Bridgette
know.
about the situation.
I might think like that. I think like
But
that.
for you, Bridgette,
Yes.
Kwekwe,
Sorry, April.
by that time, stuff had already started, both on and off the.
Yes.
Why then a team at that time? There was a lot of controversy. I think it must be around the time video and the players in the whole situation with money.
Yes. So, you know what? Me joining Kwekwe United was actually a very funny story. Actually, I didn't even know about Kwekwe. And so happened, obviously, through social. I saw the video about Kwekwe United, but then I remembered a friend of mine saying that he's friends with the owner of Kwekwe United. So for me, I just love football. So I then called my friend who's in the UK and said, like, what's happening here? I need help. What? That's how I got to talk about Kwekwe United. So my friend then said, no, yeah, that's my friend. And look, there are challenges, things are happening, but I can introduce you to him. After speaking to him, to the owner, and obviously his challenge, what he was going through, owner the Kwekwe United. I thought, I'd worked with Simba Bora. I thought, doing very well. Maybe I should find something more challenging and try and see how I can help Kwekwe United. So that's how I got to go to Kwekwe United.
So we can say your situation out of that very, very bad incident. To those that didn't see the video, there was an issue of money, and then the owner was kneeling and pleading for the players to go and play and so that was the turning moment. I think I can give some input in this.
Yeah, me, because at the end of the day, we should the fact that this football team and jobs all these players. I think instead of us laughing, talking about it or making around it, this is try for help. For me, that. So I thought through help with the little help that I can, maybe it could make a difference. That's how my friend spoke to the guy, and then they said, you know what, would you be in the first place? I wanted to help Kwekwe United from the outside. I didn't want to be part of it or anything like that. And but then they said, no, please come in, please help us. And also another very important factor is I stayed in Cape Town for 16 years. I ever met Zimbabwe was in Kwekwe. I've got friends and family that stays in Kwekwe. So Kwekwe is a place that's at my heart. So it being associated with such things, for me, I didn't take it well. So I thought maybe all you can do is try. If you fail, you fail, but you would have tried.
But there's a difference between what you see from the outside and what you see when you enter. So you've taken this opportunity to say, you know what, I think I can help here on the ground when you arrive. Because the reputation, these guys have no money. They have nothing. That was the time even there was a former coach who was there, so Chaminuka, there was reports that he got even the match balls. So when you got there, what was the reality?
Well, look, much about I was there, because for me that was not the reason I went there to look at what happened before I was there. All I can say is when I got there, there's friends of mine, I won't mention names, that are in the football industry should I go? They said, don't even do it. But I thought, you know what? Let me just go listening to people. I ask for advice, but I never take it. So I ended up there. Yeah. Tough. It was tough. from the next match, we didn't even know how we were going to make the next match. So for me, that was like a challenge. I'm not sure what was like when I started phoning in, look here, him that needs accommodation, who advertise for you, can you give them accommodation for free? Then someone says yes. I phoned a friend of mine, look here, I've got, that kind of thing. And when I saw that I could make that match happen with no money, not that I'm saying, but he started getting into it. And then other ideas, or when I was when discovering so many, and then that came a lot of ideas to.
I saw pictures of you in South Africa making these rounds, making these trips. Were they a part of those plans?
Yes. It's unfortunate Kwekwe United is where it is right now, because actually that trip to South Africa was a very strategic partnership that we signed. That is called Hellenic Academy. It's owned by some Portuguese in Cape Town. So basically what they were saying is initially Kwekwe United, these people had approached me. We want to set up Hellenic Academy in Zimbabwe. And then I said, but set up a Hellenic Academy in Zimbabwe. For me, it made sense with a team that's existing and struggling. Set up an academy. You then young talent. And so immediately when I went to thought, obviously I should bring the deal to Kwekwe United because I was now waiting. So it's just unfortunate we have not even had to implement that. A lot of issues that we have at the club, a lot of problems to constantly solve, try to see them.
But the obvious question, the right person to answer this, obviously there were issues before you're there. And the obvious issue there was no soccer league in the first place, because there must have been foresight before the season started to say the funds that we have cannot sustain us, because Kwekwe United issue started really early on in the season.
Yeah, I think you're right to say it would be. I mean, I would not go to full, but my point of personally. I saw plans. There were plans. There were budgets that were put together. There was funds that were available to run the team, obviously, up to the end of the season. But, you've won. Sometimes you might have plans, but it doesn't mean those plans will come through, will happen. So I think there were challenges that they faced in their plans. Didn't happen, and obviously immediately you would see problems, because whatever they had planned or whatever money they thought they were going to use, something happened to it or something happened around it, and that's why they're here. That's why we're here today.
When at CEO right now, do you have enough money, enough budget to sustain you until match day 34?
I'll be honest, we don't have money, but look, we have been approaching people, and fortunately, we have had people that were helping us. And unfortunately, their names to be mentioned, but we've had people helping us, and we're very great are putting together a plan. So I'll tell you how we have approached this whole thing, because Kwekwe United, it's a community. So we thought, look, there's no other way Kwekwe United can survive without the community. So we then went to the owner. We did. Right now, there's no funds to fund the club. It would only make sense if you give back Kwekwe United to the people, because you named this Kwekwe United. I don't think when you were naming this Kwekwe United, you had an idea what you were doing, because Kwekwe, see that in the Premier League. Kwekwe United is one of the only teams with the community name. So see it that surely it has to be associated ownership of that. So we are in the process of offloading 20% free of shares to the community. We've identified the community leaders, and that's already in the process. And the other 40% is being given to business people in Kwekwe, so that they can be able to help run the club. Obviously, because we need baking and stuff like that. So that's also in the process. And then we have left some share in owner, but you can still sell to anyone. That's not, because strictly 60% should be owned by Kwekwe people.
But was it easy getting to that position? Because I'm trying to figure out if I've got 100%, and then ideas come to say maybe you should offload 60% of that.
Well, look, whenever someone starts a project, their vision, plan, you plan to have 5 kids, but God gives you one. I mean, that's how it is. That's how life is. So the owner obviously had his own vision, his whatever he was planning when he started this whole thing. I wasn't there, but it's some reality. Is the only way you can survive, because there's no way you can keep on holding on to something that you know at this point you can't. Because now it's not only about him, it's about the players, it's about all the other employees that are. It goes back to even the ground that we use, the people that are renting us that ground, the people that takes care of the grounds to that. So you can't now be saying, no, this is my thing, I gotta keep going this way. Sometimes you just have to. Unfortunately, you might not want to, but that's how it is. That's life.
But for you, on a personal level, how difficult is it to be CEO of such a team? Because yes, there are all these plans that are coming, but they haven't fully, been implemented enough for you to be very fluid. So how is it like on a personal level to wake up in the morning and be a CEO of a team that needs to play on the weekend, but there's no money?
There's no money, yeah. It's I'm kind of getting it. Because well, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's difficult, but I don't know. We somehow we somehow sail through, and sometimes I fight with everyone, because most of the time I'm the one running around. I'm fighting with everyone. You're not fighting enough. You're not doing this enough. I've told you to. When things are, emotions just fly around. But at the end of the day, for me, it's more about. It's for me, it was just a challenge.
Because the reason I asked this is, I was in marketing, obviously, for the biggest team in the country, Dynamos. And the automatic assumption is you're selling this product. It must be easy to sell. It's Dynamos. You get onto the market and you realize football is not such a hot commodity as people assume it is.
It's not.
The market is really not too open for. And then for a club like Kwekwe, where occasionally you take a knock with negative publicity.
Yeah, especially from you. You like us, eh? Kwekwe United is in the toilet.
I know, right? That's how on the weekend I was like,
yeah. No, open mic line now. If I do something, I tell you myself before it happens.
So like, for you now, have you had moments where you're like, but Bridgette,
I quit quit, basically the truth. I quit every day. But because, like I said, Kwekwe United is beyond us. Look at Kwekwe. That's where the president, we've got powerful people that comes from Kwekwe. So sometimes giving up Kwekwe. I mean, it's for me, it's like I said, the reason why I was attracted to Kwekwe. So I quit every day, like maybe 3 times a day. I say, I don't want it anymore. I take your club or do this, all these things. But at the end of the day, I believe at the moment we are fighting relegation, and probability is we might. I'm not saying that's
You're
what we want.
95%.
That's not what we want. At some point, you have to face reality. For me, beyond league now, Kwekwe United, if a child 3, as long as they're going to walk, as long as they're trying. So for me, it's not really about United being relegated. I think on the wrong things around Kwekwe United. You see, I think this is a problem with a lot of clubs in promoted to the Premier League. I don't understand why actually get in the Premier way. Most of them, which I don't understand. But you being from Crystal Mambo, I being from Bonda, we get these things like
It's in the band.
It's that
Julia
band.
still.
But yeah.
Us.
Us and Yvonne, the Crystal Mambo and Bonda, we have always had beef. Always
because of
the old boyfriend from. So I never liked people from Crystal Mambo, but I knew nobody there. And
same, yeah. Like you get in a school and it's like at one.
Mambo, my friend. So I'm just saying, no, we were lucky. We were fortunate enough to go to schools, and we somehow some of these things, because for me it doesn't make sense. Keep on making, but it happens. I've started businesses that failed the same way.
But I mean, in that vein, it's the same way with. I always ask this question where all of us in a team will figure out where we're going to play homologated, and you're already like in the top 3 season. And are you not thinking about it with the next season if we do get
like
promoted?
What Hard Rock is doing now.
Happen?
So Hard Rock does not make it. They make it good for them. I'm not saying anything. The preparations they're doing way before they get into the Premier League. I tell you, the Premier League, it will never be relegated. You would have taken away us. We have to travel to. We must travel to play in a stadium. Do you understand my point? So at the end of the day, all those things, obviously, even performance when it affects down to the player. And the players, you can't expect the two to go in. Good welfare for the perform. How hard they try. It just works together. That's unfortunate.
So for you as a CEO, when you look at this situation, like you said, you're thinking of season, because this season is almost a train wreck. Chances are the biggest probabilities that you're going down.
Yes.
What would you want to see for Kwekwe? What is the vision for you, for the club?
A team, Kwekwe United, that name should never die. I think we should take this as an opportunity for everyone in Kwekwe to build on this. Obviously, it was started by one person, but now it's time for all of us to jump on. In Kwekwe, went into the Premier League was Lancashire still in 2008. That's almost 17 years down the line. It's called, also, right now, these are the interesting times for any club or any team to be involved in football. You know, there's so much that's happening, you know. Look, we can't take away from what Scotland has brought to the Premier League. We can't take away what Caps United to the Premier League. We can't take away what Moors is bringing to the Premier League. So I think if we have more than 18 clubs like that, then in the coming years, you can actually start making money from football. Because right now, you know, football, it's all about giving. There's no returns in football unless if we find a sponsor, which are very hard to get. So at the end of the day, if we package our clubs very well, I feel like we're going to have, and then to strike like what we're doing now, because then you'd be having returns.
How has playing away from home affected your fan base?
It has affected a lot, because when this team was in Division 1, they had so much fans in Kwekwe. And, you know, them traveling now to Gweru, you know, fans and stuff like that, it's just not.
And for you on a personal level, you spoke about your involvement with Simba Bora and all that. Let's rewind it.
Okay.
When did you start getting involved in football, and in what capacity?
Okay, so I started, I think I've always loved football. When I was at Bonda, 1997, I was doing athletics first. I was in the Zim school teams that went to Namibia or Tanzania. And then 98, I think we went to Tanzania. I can't remember which countries we went. But I was an athlete. I was running 100 meters and 200 meters hurdles. So when I went to Bonda, no one could, they didn't know hurdles. So when we went to the National Sports Stadium for the national school competition, they just said, who can do hurdles? And then I'm like, it's me. Because I'd already lost my 100 meters. Initially, I'd gone there to do 100 meters, but I didn't. So, yeah, so I was an athlete since 1997, and then they introduced women's soccer at Bonda at that time, because you know Bonda is a girls' school. And then they were...
We were not playing.
Yes. So the thing is, if you get into the soccer women's team, you'd go play against Marists. Then that was the motivating.
I think this is an inside joke that you never understand unless you went to Christa Mambo, St. David's Bonda, and Marist Brothers or St. Fates.
Or
those four teams,
which was actually
you understand why it was a big deal.
It was a big deal because I couldn't fit in the first team of basketball. I wasn't good at basketball, and basketball is the other team that always went to Marist. So because I wanted to go to Marist and Magada and all these places, I started playing soccer. And the first year I played soccer, I won Soccer Star of the Year. And then I could actually play soccer in 97, 98, until 2000, I was playing soccer. So I was, my mom, I think when I never won any, merits on, like, good in maths, good in whatever. So my mom the other day was like, but we're always going days, and now you're just winning Soccer Star of the Year. I'm like, but that's what I'm good at. And then my uncle, his brother, was there. And then he's like, so you can play soccer? I'm like, yes, I play soccer very well. Then he said to me, well, there's a football club, women's football club in Zarasekwa called Tsivamutema. So you should got into a lift, the Darate Kurama Kombi. Dakura Kombi, because my mom's mother used to stay in Zarasekwa, and that's where my uncle also used to stay. So I then went to the house like early 7. I was like, I'm here. Let's go to that soccer thing. So I went he introduced me to this club, Dzwamtema, and then I started playing. Funny enough, I think I automatically got in the team. And the first day I played for that club, there was a game between Dzwamtema and St. In that soccer players, there was Yesmo, there was Bonzo. I've forgotten the other lady that had also Rasta, but Bonzo is still alive. But Yesmo passed away. So then there were scouters that were putting together a Harare select team that was going to play against Bulawayo select team. So I was chosen. And then when I went back home, I'm like, Mom, I made it. I have to go training in National Sports Stadium. So I went to the National Sports Stadium, I think, for a week training. So we were supposed to play like an independence match or something like that. And then I was supposed to go back to Bonda because I was in Form 4 then. I was for, for the vacation school. And my mom was like, "You going back to school? What women play soccer?" I'm like, "But I'm good at it. I've been chosen." I was like, "Nonsense. Go back." So that's how, obviously, I was never, when I finished school, I went to college, I did all this thing. But then when I went to Cape Town again, I was working at a restaurant called Cubana, and there was a lot of soccer players that used to come there. So I then also made friends with a lot of, I was always interested in football. Shoes Mekota, who was at Ajax, I think it's now called Cape Town City or something like that. So whenever all these Zimbabwean players come to play for Ajax, I would make friends with them because I was always there supporting and all that. And then I started doing some projects, like other projects, business-wise. Which I was always, then the other time I did help some Ralph Kondera to come for some trials. I helped like a lot of players that were coming to Cape Town for trials and then didn't have a place to stay, so they would stay at my house because I had a house in Cape Town. So yeah, through that I was somehow always involved in soccer.
So how did you get to be at Simba Bora? What was what did you do?
Okay, Bora, I had a restaurant at number 11 Chechu. So I was introduced to Buju through a friend. You call him Sim. And they always used to support me when during COVID, we didn't have much business, but these guys would come, have lunch and whatever. That's when I started being friends with the owner of Simba Bora. And then, actually, I'm not telling the truth. I started following Simba Bora when they were in Division 1. When because Simba Ndoro and Method Manjali, they were friends. So Method is my brother. So we were following. That time I was still staying in Cape Town, but whenever I would come, he said, "No, let's go for a football game in Bindura or whatever."
When you say my brother, you brother is in friend, brother is in related.
No, we related. Method Manjali. Can't you see we look alike?
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, we need to clarify.
No, he's my brother. Like,
so how come you don't use that card? Like, I would be using it. Like, I'm
what
Yvonne,
card? He should be using
Method
my card.
Manjali's sister.
No, but he should be using my card. I know the other way around. I'm just talking nonsense. But yeah, so we would go and watch football together. So now when they got promoted, the first season they struggled also a bit, and then I think I wasn't in Zimbabwe then, and then when I came towards the end of it, when they just survived relegation, I met Buju. We were actually having Mazondo at Mishek's place in Avondale, and there's like, do you know we're now in Premier League? Whatever. I'm like, oh really? It's like, yeah, but things are tough, we then I'm like, no, let me help you fundraise, let me see where I can help. So basically, I was at Simba Bora just helping fundraise, or when they need things done, they would ask me. It was not an official position, but it was, I only got to be a board member this year before I then...
You got to be a board member, then you left?
Then I left. Because, with Simba Bora, we have a relationship that will never go away. I mean, they are
if things don't work out, you can still go back.
Simba Bora will always be Simba Bora for me. But I thought if Kwekwe United, they need him. So when I got the thing, I called him. I'm like, look, I think I need to go this place to help. And it's like, no, go for it.
So what aspects of that experience that you had at Simba Bora do you think you've implemented in your time at Kwekwe?
Well, player welfare. They do take care of their players at Simba Bora. So that's something that I've I've tried to introduce to Kwekwe United, it's not much. It's just like maybe after lunch, after training, giving the players lunch. Those little things, they motivate players. They make the players feel loved. Sometimes just feeling appreciated, it doesn't take much. It's just the smallest things. So that culture that's at Zimbabwe, they really do have this intimate relationship with their players. So that's something that I've tried to implement at Kwekwe United.
And we can't run away from the fact that you're a woman in sport, in men's sport. What are the challenges? If they are, what are they?
I think I'm the challenge, I'm the challenge to them. Because, you know what? My father was in the army. I grew up in a camp in Masoja. So, for me, a lot of people don't understand me. Like even you would not really know me. But people that really know me know that I'm a very nice person. But a lot of people always think I'm this bad. No, I just say things as they are. So for me, that has helped me because I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not afraid of anyone because you're a man or you're a woman. I'm not afraid of anyone because you have money and I don't have. I say my piece. Whatever I feel like saying, I say it. It doesn't matter because if you have money, it's your money. It's not mine. It doesn't affect me in any way. So I'm not the person who, what do you call it? Because vanemari. No. I'm just an honest person.
But don't you think football toughens us? Like, honestly, if you're a woman and you're in football, you have to have some aspect of your character.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes you're always defensive, you're like defensive mode.
I see that a lot. Yes, I see that a lot on my. Yes, I see that a lot on my Facebook page. That sometimes it's an innocent comment, but because you're always coming from a defensive point of view, because you face so much of people that say as a female. So even a simple.
Your eyes are ready to attack. Yeah, but it's I guess. Personally, I never really wanted to be in the football administration. I've always been part of football, but like from the outside. I never dreamt at some point that I'll be like running the show in the middle of somewhere. No. But look, I'm here and I'm doing it.
I have my moments. Like there's certain times when there was a time I really, really wanted to get into administration.
Now.
Yeah, she drank our water. Do you know what? I actually had a closing line for you. I was going to say right at the end, like, Bridgette, we are done. You can now drink the water.
No, I felt thirsty. I needed to drink the water.
The popular water.
The popular water.
But you've already been very candid without the water anyway, so...
What's that? I hope I didn't say the wrong thing.
No, you didn't. You didn't say anything wrong, but it's also enlightening, like, to have... I haven't had a lot of... Which is kind of weird because it's a show hosted by a woman, but I haven't had a lot of female guests on the show. And it's nice and refreshing because I feel like we're in that era where the opportunities are so much.
So much.
Like the doors are being open. And like, I remember when I grew up, like there were no role models in the Zimbabwean context to really look at it. Kuna CEO akati kuna media manager akati, kuna coach akati wechikadzi, in men's sport.
No, that's true. And I should commend the Zim community has done so well in appointing mostly ladies CEOs in most football clubs.
In media managers.
Yes, in media liaison officers and media managers. That's actually a very good thing because at least it then gives equal, what do you call it? Beijing 50-50. Still not
the
there.
Equal rights and the
equal rights. Still not there, but I mean, at least women are involved and they're sitting on boards making decisions in the football industry. So that's I think for me that's.
And I think this year started well, really, because I look at the number of women that are on the Zifa board, and I'm like, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Even because initially it was like, okay, fine, they've opened up a position for a vice president who's female, but then you look at the elected rest of the board members and they're females, and you get excited about it.
Yeah, and I think, look, like I said, we're heading somewhere. I think. We should commend Honorable Sakwanya. If we have three people with the same vision that he has, I mean, football is that no one can take away from him, whether you like him or you don't like him. But the fact that you will see how when Scotland is playing in Blawayo, it's full. We only had Caps, Highlanders, and Dynamos doing that. So now, if we have all clubs doing that, like what even Simbabora is doing, Shamba, all home games, they are always full. So, we should also commend people like Dr. Ndore. So they've done so well in football.
I think it's a phase where, like, literally, you go to Shamba, it's packed.
It's packed.
You go to Norton, it's packed.
It's packed. Yes.
I was seeing visuals in Triangle, it was packed.
Yes.
And it's this little contributing aspects that have happened where the game is grown and the opportunities have become more. Yeah. But there must be downs as well. Have you ever faced like downs based on just your gender, like you're a female, or when something happens, you're like, I'm
well, especially if you're not a married person in this industry, everyone assumes they can just say, hi, come over. I'm like, come over where? Like, why should I be coming over there? So that's these are things, but because we are strong and it's not like a long time ago whereby I did things because I felt like I had to do it. Now, if you see me doing something, you will know that it's my choice. I no one is forcing me. So that's a good thing, because we get to choose what we want to do. We are not forced into doing things that we are not comfortable with. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing, because before I felt for me to be a CEO, I had to have done this with somebody.
Yes.
No, not even. You understand? It's actually you doing well with your show as a woman, and no one can take that away from you. It's your ability that has brought you here, your capability, and the things that you're doing right in your industry. So at the end of the day, there's nothing like you have to
cut corners and
cut
go in
corners,
somebody's
carpet interview. We did face them. We're not that young. We're old. In our era, it was there at some certain point, because I remember there's a story I always tell people. I used to work for an A company. The people that know the story knows it. So for us for you to stay on the job. Remember, I was only 18 when I worked for this company in Zimbabwe. You had to go through the operations manager. You had to make sure that you're okay. But what he didn't know is that I got the job because, first of all, now I have to tell the truth. I got the job because my cousin was the GM. So for me, I didn't need to do anything with anybody to get a job, because I got it straight, So when I refused, this guy fired me. Straight up, he fired me. And then a colleague said to me, no, go to the head office and complain about this man. And sorry, I know this man is watching right now. I almost got him fired. I also got him in trouble with his wife, but that's what he did, because I actually got fired, and then I had to be changed the department, because this is a huge company now. They've got different.
But I think in some aspects it might be. I've heard stories in media, newsrooms and all that stuff, and I'm hoping it's no longer happening where women have to do certain things in order for them, especially now with these opportunities that kids want. You're coming out of university, you want an attachment, or you're starting out and all that stuff. Free. There's nothing for free.
You know what my ambuya always used to say? Musahla zvinhu zvevanu. Musahla zvinhu zvevanu. There's nothing that comes for free, and there's nothing that's easy. The moment you get to understand that, then you understand, Guti, look, I'm a woman. Anyone that has known me ever since, from 19 years, I started a company at 19, Pacific Mill. We were cleaning carpets and stuff like that. And Nawili Baba will tell you, and Kodza. I used to go into their homes and cleaning. That was my company. I started that company at 19. But because, my mom was so hardworking, and my mom always used to push me, And when I was grade 7, I remember I told you I was staying in a camp, Queen Como Barracks. There was this place, Mount Abden, or Stapleford, I don't know. There was a place I got my cap, my bones. Those, I don't know if you know them.
Like Makape
bonds. So there was a company there that used to make those cups. So I was in grade 7. My mom was like, okay, you got a place at Bonda. You want to go there? I can't afford it. End up my bin. Unongeshi.
Mabonzo.
Unonge mabonzo. And then I would fill up my... So for my first grocery to go to Bonda Form 1, I bought it for myself. Because ndakazaza my 50 kg. And you know, the thing is, you would fill up a 50 kg. They will go there and they will tell you it's $5. I'm telling you. So you had to fill up so much sagas of bonzos for you, those people to give you any money. But you know what? At that time, you imagine digging into trash. That was so bad. But she's gone. She's dead long time. But with this hardship in this life, I'm good. There's no hardship that I cannot face. You know, so sometimes...
And your hardship is not stopping because your hardship... As soon as you leave this interview, you still have Kwekwe United that needs to play over the weekend.
I think for some of us, it's a way of life to live in these hardships. And we thrive in it.
But are you optimistic, though? Are you optimistic that you will sail through the season? That you will take it one day at a time?
We're going to take
one game at a time.
One game at a time. Look, we want to survive relegation. That's no secret. We want to stay in the league. But what I normally, as a mother, I always like preparing. You know, should we not make it? I'm not saying this for everyone to relax and say no for the coaches. No, I want results. I want people to win. I want to survive. But should it be difficult? Should it be hard? People should understand there's something beyond
your control.
Yeah, there's
something beyond your control. And you are tougher than I am. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you saw a fire, Bridgette, and you walked into the fire,
Yeah,
and you admitted that you knew there is fire.
But I'm so proud of myself because, you know, I've been there for all the games. I've been there. I've made sure matches are gone to. They have played. I mean, for me, those are achievements. It's not easy, you know, to work with zero budget, but I did it, and I'm still doing it. And I want us to finish all the games and play all the games. That's what I want.
So,
even if we lose, we lose.
What's your message to, firstly, the Kwekwe community, and thirdly, corporate or potential sponsors?
Okay. I'll start with the community because as much we might not know how to put it across to the community at the moment, but for us to survive, we need the community. Yes, the team is not winning as much as we want it to be winning, but at the end of the day, so I'm appealing to the Kwekwe community to rally behind the boys. You know, I know our home matches are played in Gweru. If possible, please come support them, and just the presence, their presence makes a difference. You know, in the end, the corporates, we are struggling. We have no money, zero. Obviously, there's not much that we can offer you at the moment, but if you go through with us this journey, I'm sure your returns, we've got proposals and things that we've put in place that we can show you that you will get your returns if you invest in Kwekwe.
They got an insight into Kwekwe United and all the issues that are happening. And their CEO, very candid about the fact that, yes, the club does not have money, but the club has dreams. The club has plans. The club hopefully, Bridgette, will not go to a lodge where they can't pay.
No, that will never happen. That will never happen.
So hopefully all the best. Hopefully you fulfill the rest of your fixtures and whatever the journey takes you, whether you're going back to Central Region to regroup, press the restart button and hopefully come back stronger.
Yes, I must clearly point it out that we don't want to be relegated. But should we be relegated, it's not the end of us. It's not the end of Kwekwe United.
So there you have it, hoping that you enjoyed the conversation here and the talk that we had here about the situation at Kwekwe United and what's happening with Kwekwe United. Next week, I got a big guest. I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you about it, but I'm going to give you a hint. You will know more about a big former Warriors star. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.